We're out here, Bonneville Baptist Disc Golf Course. We're feeling a little bougie today. We got a 4 Claw Buzzz. We're gonna throw this compared to a regular ESP. This happens to be 2022 Tour Series, very straight year Buzzz. But let's see if this is worth the hype. Is it actually better than a regular Buzzz? Let's throw them around a little bit. Is Boujie better than basic? Let's find out. Hole 1 here, 310 feet. Let's throw the stock ESP Buzzz first, see how it flies. We got a pretty decent crosswind, so I'm expecting this to kind of just float over the whole time. But let's see, let's give it a toss. Oh yeah. She has gone out of bounds. The wind just took that thing, put it nice and flat, nice and high, and it just carried over to the right the whole entire time. Never even thought of fading out. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's throw the 4 Claw. Let's give it a throw. That thing kind of flies. That thing kind of flies for sure. So you saw how the ESP Buzzz just got over on angle, never came back. That guy was getting pushed a little bit, but the whole time it held up its stability and it actually ended up fading out. I think we're about pin high. I think we're actually might be a little bit long, but let's go check them out and see. You might be thinking to yourself, you know what, Dan, what the heck is that? What is going on behind me here? I took the liberty of digging some grays for the other discs because, you know, they just can't compare with the 4 Claw. Now we are busy putting in concrete T-pads. Very excited about that. So we dug it out, put forms, do some gravel, and pour that T-pad sometime soon here. We have just arrived at the basket here, exactly pin high, 25 feet, maybe call it 27 feet off to the right. We have the 4 Claw Buzzz. What a time to be alive. Let's see if I can just do this. Filming real quick. Yeah, no chance, no chance. Hole 2 here, we're playing the shorts, 238. One thing this Buzzz does really well, obviously you saw in the last hole, is the fact that it really handles some torque. So let's power down on these guys actually, throw them a little softer and see what their flight looks like then. Still have a pretty ripping crosswind. Woo! Ooh, dang. I think that hit the pole, oh my gosh. Gave that one the same hyzer, and oh, it's not out of bounds. But it definitely did not have the fade that the 4 Claw had. Even on a little bit of hyzer, it like popped up, and I didn't throw it hard at all. But yeah, it still wanted nothing to do with fading, which is kind of crazy. Hole 3, 186, island hole, just get up in there. We have the headwind, which is a little sketchy. So I'm gonna throw these on just light little low power hyzer lines. Let's throw the ESP one first. That is parked. Whew, I think I should throw more hyzers. Those are so close. But yeah, ESP didn't even really want to pop up, which is interesting. But you could see how it kind of wanted to push a little bit harder than the 4 Claw on that hyzer. Honestly, very similar flights. When you power them down, you throw them on hyzer. It's almost the same, but there are some little subtle differences that you can still pick out. So we're going to finish off our video here today, throwing all 3 of these Buzzes. 3? What? Honorable mention. We'll chuck that guy as well into a pretty stiff headwind and see what they do, because that is honestly the real test of stability. We'll throw the ESP first. Whew, that's headwind. Oh baby. And flip, 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 flip. I gave that some pretty good spin, so it actually held up. It didn't burn over, but yeah, just the whole entire time, not even a chance of it coming out. Useful line if you're looking for that. The honorable mention here is the Corey Ellis Claw Buzzz. This is what was in my bag before I got the 4 Claw, because it's actually pretty stable. It's the most stable run of Buzzz I was able to get my hands on before the 4 Claw. So yeah, I have 3 of these and they're just money. That was a solid flight. It held straight almost the whole entire time. I did release it on just a little bit of hyzer, but it didn't really seem to want to turn. Very interesting. Let's throw the 4 Claw. So I got on that one a little bit more, threw that one about 20, 30 feet further than the first ESP Buzzz, and threw it more directly into the headwind actually too. And it flipped a little bit, turned, and still consistently came out. That's honestly the flight I would kind of expect from my Malta. I know this isn't as stable as my Malta, but yeah, this thing is kind of built different, honestly. Like, it handles that headwind like nobody's business. So yeah, pretty crazy. Let's talk about some buzzes real quick. This one, hot trash. I'm just kidding, no. So obviously, through all of these throws, we can see that the 4-claw is definitely the most stable out of these 3 discs. I only threw this one once or twice. Honestly, it flies very similar to the 4-claw. I don't think it's quite as stable, which is kind of interesting too, because this 4-claw is just a little bit beat up, a little bit used, but still it flies so unbelievably stable. Honestly, I think all 3 of these discs are really great. I think this Buzz, for certain circumstances, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I have a disc in my bag that is almost identical to this, and I think this is actually gonna end up being back up to that one. When thrown on a calm day, it literally just goes dead straight. No fade, no turn, just dead straight. Put on a little Annie, it holds it. Put on a little hyzer, it holds it. So if you want those kinds of lines, a stock Buzz is a great way to do that. But if you're looking for something more stable, a little more hype, a little more fancy, if you know what I'm saying, 4-claw Buzz. 4-claw Buzz. Yes, 4-claw Buzz is really hard to beat, honestly. It's just so stable, but it has so much glide as well. Honestly, it's everything that I expected that it was going to be. Having something like this, where now that I have a little bit more power, I can still throw it hard and trust that it's going to go straight and fade out a little bit, is something that is invaluable to me. I know there are other manufacturers who make discs like this, but I love discraft, and I love to throw discraft. So buying something like this is worth it for me. It was $90 Canadian, which is the most I've ever spent on any disc. I know, Mr. Moneybags over here. So that brings us to the next question. Is the hype worth it? This is probably one of the most hyped up discs in Discraft's lineup, if not the most hyped up. This is something that a lot of pros have in their bag. This is something that a lot of people want to throw and have in their bag for good reason, I think, because it is something that a stock Buzz just doesn't quite do. Honestly, there's a little bit of hype. Being Paul's disc, the first like commemorative disc they released after he moved to Discraft, all that kind of fun stuff. So there's obviously hype behind it, but I think the hype is well deserved because it is an awesome disc. So yeah, I think this is a really great disc. If you have the money to buy one, buy one. Do whatever the heck you want. Throw it, keep it on a shelf, whatever. But between these 2 Buzzes, I think Boujie is better than Basic. This just is more reliable. It's just better in my opinion. It's also pretty cool. It's cooler, I gotta say that. So that's where we're gonna leave it. The 4-claw Buzz is definitely better. This is going in the pit. Have a nice day.